Hey peeps, welcome to another video. Today it is the long awaited and much talked about autumn and winter sewing plans. Now, as you know, if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, I usually do a monthly sewing plans video. If you've been watching any of the vlogs, you may be aware that we're moving house at the end of October. Up until a couple of days ago, I was also going to be running a retreat in the middle of October as well. Unfortunately, the retreat had to be cancelled and postponed to next year, which sucks, but never mind. Obviously people's health and safety is my first concern, and it was the right thing to do and my only option, and thankfully everybody has just transferred over to May and April next year, which is amazing. October was going to be really busy for us, and it still will be. The place that we are moving to, the sewing room is currently an outbuilding that needs to be completely renovated. I kind of had this grand idea in my head of doing autumn and winter sewing plans in one big swoop and then bringing you what I could when I could, because as you can probably tell, going forward it's going to be slightly more difficult to film the regular videos because there's going to be no sewing room, like literally no sewing room. We're gonna try and work it around in one of the rooms in the house until the sewing room is done, and thankfully sewing is as important to mum as it is to me, so it is a priority for them, mum and dad, because I am moving in with mum and dad again, and they are very kindly prioritizing having the sewing room up and running as quickly as possible, which is awesome. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of months, and I will of course be taking you on my sewing room adventures. I'm going to be getting to redecorate a couple of rooms in the house as well, one for me, one for mum and dad, and we will, you know, I'm going to take you guys along with us on those processes because I love seeing those kind of things. I really enjoy that kind of content on YouTube, so fingers crossed you guys do too, because there will be a lot of that for a while. But when the sewing room is finally back up and running, there will be more plans for you, and I thought what I would do is a grand autumn and winter capsule collection, because that will keep me busy for the next sort of 4 or 5 months, which is how long I'm expecting this to take. Because when I started this, I was like, okay, I'm going to get this particular fabric and build a collection around that, and I'm going to use the Sew Over It Work to Weekend capsule collection to make this thing. And then it kind of took on a life of its own, and it grew from there. Because whilst I love that book, I do like the trench coat, it's not my favorite trench coat. And then I was like, well, I want to make a different trench coat, and then I was like, oh, and I could then, and then I went through my fabric stash and started pulling out fabrics to add to this collection to make it all rounded out, and I'm sitting between two piles of around about 35 fabrics here. yeah it's giant. It is giant. I'm going to have an awesome capsule collection at the end of it, and I mean, I don't know whether, because there's probably going to be a few of these that are going to have multiple things made from it, so I don't know whether a collection of 40 things would be classed as a capsule. I think it is. There are lots of like 30 and 30 videos and things like that, because again, that's something else that I really enjoy watching. Thought I'd try this concept with you guys for the next couple of months. I thought I would show you all the fabrics now. Some of these I have very firm plans for. Some of them I have very kind of ethereal, kind of maybe this kind of plans for. There are some patterns that I know I want to make, but I'm not sure which fabric's going to go with which yet, and there are, as I say, there's some very set in stone pattern fabric combinations that I know I want to do. So that was a lot of waffle. Hopefully you kind of have an idea of what I was thinking with this lot. I mean, I have on my 8577 here. The reason I have this on is because I think that these colorways and this dress will work really well with this capsule collection, and that's another thing that I'm planning on doing, is pulling pieces from my original current wardrobe to add into this when I do the styling videos at the end, because oh yes, there will be styling videos as well, because I have been toying around with that idea for ages. I've decided to give it a try because why not? Yeah, so that's again a lot of waffle, and I've gone on like 5 tangents during that waffle, so let's actually just start showing you the fabrics, shall we? I've got my slinky kind of and lighter weight cotton lawns, the lightweight summer weight wool, viscoses and crepes in this pile next to me, and then I have my bottom weight fabrics and also then my plain solid fabrics in this pile next to me, and I genuinely don't know where to start, so let's let's start here. So first up we have the Jungle Tropics from Lady McElroy, and I believe that's what this one's called. This is on their cotton drill base with 2% stretch. Now this was initially bought with the idea of making ginger jeans, and I have realised that I just don't enjoy wearing that kind of trouser. I don't enjoy skinny jeans. Oh, Gianna's escaped. I do, however, very much enjoy wearing denim skirts. So this is going to be, I mean technically it's a twill fabric, it's not denim because it's pattern. I mean pattern denim, but it's going to be a skirt, and it's probably going to be the Vogue 9345. I hope I have that number right. I've made 2 of those skirts and I've made 3 of the dresses, and I just love that silhouette on me. I love the giant pockets and I think this is gorgeous. I also have made a bag out of this, and I'm currently in the middle of making another bag out of this, and that's another thing that I'm going to try and do, is add in some bags and purses to this collection so that it really is rounded out and everything works with everything else. So this is the first one. It's going to be a skirt. I'm looking forward to it. It's also probably going to be another bag because I think I'll have enough left to do that. Then we have, this is some 55% terylene 45% wool fabric, which is from, it's a Lady McElroy fabric. It's from Sherwood's. It's in the military green colorway. I call this khaki, but I know that's a very different color in America, but to me this is like a khaki green. I've got 2.5 meters of this, and I initially bought this with the plan of making trousers, but it's actually kind of stiff to the point where I don't think I would enjoy wearing trousers from this, but I do think I would enjoy wearing this McCall's skirt. I think this is going to look awesome as that skirt. And then I have ordered, and it's not here yet, but I have ordered some other fabric in this colorway in a slightly, ever so slightly drapier it's got a slightly drapier hand. There you go, I'm getting more technical there. I will be making some khaki trousers, and I think that they're going to end up being the Lander pants or the Lander trousers. I love those. I really like this image from Pinterest, and it's in my curated closet Pinterest board, because that's another thing that I've been doing, is the curated closet, and I like this idea, and it's been very much kind of all playing into this genius plan that I've come up with. It's either genius or terrible, but I really like those trousers, and I have a couple of jeans patterns that I could probably do something like that with. So the idea of some trousers that look like that shape really appeals, and I like the idea of them being in that khaki colour. So that's why I've bought some more khaki fabric, but this one that I've just shown you is too stiff for the type of trousers that I like, so I'm going to make that McCall's skirt out of it. I also have this 100%, oh, my fabric stash is falling over. Right, I also have this wool that I got from Sherwood Fabrics. It's Brielle, it's Lady McElroy as well, but this is much more the kind of hand of fabric that I enjoy wearing as trousers. It has a nice twill texture to it as well. I've got 2.5 meters. I would like to make the Pauline Alice Sorrel trousers from that, and I think they are going to look awesome. And again, I'm planning on making, there are going to be a lot of dresses in this plans video, but I am planning on making a lot of separates as well. You're gonna have to help hold me to that. I wasn't gonna add this one in, but when I added in the Jungle Tropics, which I'm gonna have to, hang on, I knew I was gonna end up with fabric everywhere for this. I'm gonna have to put these behind me. I knew this was gonna get messy. So when I decided that this one actually did work, because to start with it was very much more muted, it wasn't quite as bright as this, but when I decided that this one would work, and then remembered that I had this denim in my stash, and I thought, you know what, actually yeah, this works as well. This works as well. So I've added in this kind of like emerald green, which is the color of this denim. This is from Empress Mills. It has a slub texture to it. Initially I had planned to make the same skirt with this as I was going to make with the Jungle Tropics fabric, but I'm thinking this would also look really cool as trousers and a waistcoat if I have enough, because I have 2.5 meters of this. That's another thing. This whole collection is going to lean really 70s, which I'm very excited about, because I think that kind of look really suits me. So yay. I've got 2.5 meters of this. Not 100% sure what it's going to be yet. It is going to be bottoms of some description, be it a skirt or a pair of trousers, but I am looking forward to working with this one. I was thinking about turning this into a denim jacket, but I have some other filled up my memory card. I was thinking about making a denim jacket with this, but I do have some other fabrics that are coming up in a bit which are going to be outerwear, coats and jackets, etc. So I think I'm going to go for bottoms with this. I think, and I don't think I can get any more of this colourway as well, so it's not like I could add to this if I needed or wanted to. I think trousers, flared trousers with this is going to look really awesome. I'm so looking forward to this. I'm so excited. Then the last one that I have that is definitely going to be trousers. I'm saying the last one because I do, like I say, I've made a Sherwood fabric order. They had a really amazing discount on last weekend, and I've ordered a few more plain fabrics to make bottoms out of, but it hasn't arrived as yet. And as I say, it's only plain fabric, so they'll get added in eventually. But I've got this border print that I got from the Goldhawk Road, and it's got these prisms on the bottom of it. Again, these colours, now that I've added in that emerald green, work really well with this capsule collection. I have 2.5, I think I have 3.5 meters of this fabric, sorry. This is going to be the Pauline Alice Sorrel trousers with this at the bottom, and I think they are going to be amazing, and it's going to work really well with all of the tops that I'm going to make, because I am going to make tops. This is going to happen. As I say, I have raided my stash for the majority of this. There are a few fabrics here that I have ordered specifically to add in to this colour palette, but the majority of these I've had already, and have had some of these for years. This is the first one. It's this stone coloured kind of polyester. It does kind of have like a hammered texture to it. There is some texture on there. Now, you guys know I'm not a huge fan of wearing polyester, but this is just so pretty that I am going to make something like one of my cowl neck tops, kind of cap sleeve, this kind of sleeve cowl neck tops with it, so that it can be a layering piece, because I just see I've got quite a lot of this, so I might end up with a long sleeve shirt out of this, and I'll see how I feel about wearing it. I'm thinking, yeah, a cowl neck woven t-shirt, as it were, from this is going to be awesome. So the other thing I was doing when I was going through my stash was I started pulling out the fabrics that have got the theme throughout of all of these is kind of the rusty orangey tone, this kind of tone here. Have I got that right? Yes. It does look the same on camera as it does in real life. This is kind of like the theme that goes throughout the whole collection, and I have a lot of fabrics, pattern fabrics, which we'll be seeing in a second, that have got either navy or black as their background. And to begin with, I was thinking, oh, I have to pick navy or black, and then it was like, well, if I'm going to go for all of these, then I could have a navy collection and a black collection with the green rusty collection that kind of ties the two together. These are my plain fabrics that I have, and I've got 3 meters of most of them. Some of them I've got a little bit more of. This first one is this Crinkle Viscose from the Fabric Room. I went a bit nuts on the Fabric Room. I spent, I think it was just under £90 on all of these fabrics to tie in with the patterned ones that I have picked, because all the rest of the stuff that I've shown you I have already had. It was these plain ones that I didn't have, and I think these plain ones will make this collection work in terms of pairing the prints together. Navy Crinkle Viscose. We again have, it's called Militaire Khaki Viscose Crepe. This is going to be a 9077 for sure. I've made one of those in this exact colour, but I made it in a polyester fabric, and whilst I love the dress, I hate wearing it because it is just so uncomfortable to wear in the heat. So no. So I'm going to remake the 9077 in this. There's going to be quite a few 9077s, and that is this month's sew along that I have started working on as well. Then we've got the same fabric, the Viscose Crepe, this time in black, and again this is going to be some kind of shirt dress, probably with longer sleeves on this one, because I think I don't have a black dress in my wardrobe anymore. I've made a couple and they've never been perfect, so I'm hoping I'm going to get the perfect black dress with that particular cut of fabric. Then I've got the Viscose Crepe in, pick it up from the right side, in ivory. So it's not a stark white, it is an ivory colour. I think that suits me slightly better than stark white, although I do have some stark white viscose floating around in my stash which might get added in as well. This is going to be a bishop sleeved collared shirt blouse of some description. I'm going to channel my inner pirate a la Bernadette Banner and make myself a pirate blouse with this, although mine is going to be a much more modern adaptation. If you haven't seen Bernadette's latest video, then you totally should. It's awesome. I love those bishop billowy sleeves. Might even use the ones from the Vogue 9345. I don't know if I have that number right, I think I've used that number for another pattern. I'm going to put pictures up here so you can see what I'm talking about. I love the sleeves from that pattern, so I was thinking those sleeves on a shirt to wear under some of the waistcoats that I want to make, and then over some of the yeah, I'm proper 70s pirate, I think, is going to be the kind of overriding theme of this look, of this collection. Then I got some of this mustard, it's Viscose Melange, and I didn't know what this was, but I really liked the colour. I think this is probably the colour that works the least well out of the ones that I've picked, but I just loved it so much, and I grabbed it, and I think it suits me. And it kind of, I mean, if I made a long, again, I've got 3 meters of this, if I make a long sleeve collared shirt, I could wear it under this dress, and that's what I mean about like adding in pieces from my existing wardrobe to kind of round this out. So I think that's going to look really, really cool. I mean, like I say, the downside with the fabric room is that you have to order 3 meters of whatever you're ordering. So for a lot of these, I have 3 meters, knowing that I only wanted to make one top, and I probably could have gotten away with 1.5 meters, 2 meters of it. So I'm going to have a little bit extra, but that's not the end of the world, because I could either make camisoles or hunter tanks or something like that. So, you know, I'm calling it a win. It's going to be good. Then I've got, this is the same as the navy one, Crinkle Viscose from the fabric room in Rust. Again, that's going to be shirts. I have burgundy, and again, it's kind of like, can you imagine a really fabulous shirt to wear underneath this dress and other dresses that will be coming up shortly. So yes, again, this is the crinkly version of that fabric. And then the final plain fabric, I think it's the final plain fabric I have to show you. I do have more in my stash that I've picked out, but they aren't quite as perfect as these ones, and this is going to be the core of the collection. But this is a viscose voile from the fabric room in Emerald. It's going to look really cool as a shirt to go with these trousers if I make trousers out of that one. It's going to work with the border print Pauline trousers. It's going to work with the Jungle Tropics skirt. Hopefully I can make a waistcoat out of that as well, so it's going to work with that. So yeah, viscose voile. That is all of the solids that I have to show you, and I did go shopping for those specifically to work in with this collection, because these were the only solids that I had in my collection, and I felt like I needed these to round it out. And once I've shown you all the prints that I'm planning on working with, you'll see what I mean. Having said that, there are 2 more solids right at the bottom of this print pile, but they are full coats. So let's get started with the prints. My battery died. I have been filming a lot today. So right, let's get into the patterned fabric. Now the first one I'm going to show you is part of my Make 9 selection. Technically I wasn't going to include that in this one because there's a lot more blue in here than there's featured pretty much anywhere else in the collection, but I do really want to get this made up this year, and this is going to be a pleated skirt, and I'm going to use the entire, I've got 3 meters of fabric, I'm going to use the entire 3 meters into the pleated waistband of this skirt and leave the bottom free, very much like this chic-wish skirt, which was the inspiration for buying this particular fabric, because I saw this skirt, was just like, I need that, I need that. I need that. This is silk satin. I am ever so slightly terrified of using this. This was a very generous birthday present from mum and dad a couple of years ago, and yeah, it needs to be made up, and it is going to work in really well with my current plans, and then also some other bits and pieces that I have in my wardrobes. I felt like I could include this in this capsule collection because I think it will work. Next we have this beautiful wool fabric. This was £35 a metre. Was it 30? One of the two. It was quite expensive. I have been eyeing this up on M. Rosenberg Stitch Fabrics for the longest time, and it was always in stock, and it was going down slowly, and it got to the point where they had 5 meters left. This would have been one of those fabrics that if I hadn't bought it, I would have regretted it massively. So I bit the bullet and I've bought 3 meters of this, which was a giant expense, but I'm so glad that I have it. And again, this one is got a lot more blue in it than the rest of the collection, but again, it's something that I really want to include because I just think it's absolutely beautiful. It is, as I say, a wool, but it is a incredibly ever so lightweight wool, really lightweight. I was planning on making a skirt with this, and then I was thinking that would be silly. I probably ought to make a dress, and then do I make a top and a skirt that could be worn to look like a dress? I have in my head, if you guys watched The Closet Historian Bianca, she makes the most beautiful grown on sleeve fitted 50s style dresses with half circle skirts, full circle skirts, and I kind of have that in my head. So it would be my by hand London and a bodice which I love, and then probably a half circle skirt, because I don't think I'm going to get a full circle skirt out of 3 meters of this fabric, but it's just so beautiful. I think that's what I'm going to make with this one, but I reserve the right to change my mind at any time. Next up is, yes, you're not seeing double. This is the Jungle Tropics fabric that you saw at the very beginning of this very long and waffly video, but this is the Cotton Lawn, and I'm going to be making an 8577 out of this because as we've mentioned, a lot of those shirts that I'm hoping to make are going to look really cool under this particular dress. This is a viscose linen that I got from M. Rosenberg, so it's slightly heavier weight, so I'm not sure how the juxtaposition, got to love that word, of the shirt with a cotton lawn dress is going to work, but I know that I want to make an 8577 out of this, and I do wear this dress in the winter with layers underneath of it, so I was thinking I could do the same with this one, with, you know, like a skinny cardigan, a skinny roll neck underneath it, and then a cardigan over the top with tights and boots, and you know, that kept me plenty warm in this dress, so why would it not work for this one? But that's what this is going to be. I'm then also going to use this one as the facing material for the other one, for the pocket linings and the waistband lining, if for the skirt or the trousers, depending on which I make with that, but that is the plan. And again, this one has quite a lot of blue in it, brighter blue. I mean, there is navy blue, but the last couple that I've shown you have got this kind of more bright royal blue in it, but I'm really happy. And again, that will kind of lead the way into future projects. If I work in collections, I have some of those kind of colours that will then tie in really nicely with these pieces, which will make my wardrobe overall much more flexible. At least that's the plan. This next one was my mystery fabric. If you've watched my Show Us Your Stash video, you will know that I had no clue where this had come from. I was convinced it was the Lady McElroy Karen Palms, but it turns out that the very lovely Rachel from Stitched Up had purchased this from Walton's for me because she bought some herself. I messaged her and went, that's gorgeous. She went back and got me some and brought it to the retreat in October and handed it over, and I gave her the cash, and then I completely just blanked because there was so much going on that weekend that I just blanked on where this fabric came from. That's what this is. I have 5 meters of this. Now this is one of the ones that I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with. I have these Vogue dress patterns that I want to make over the next couple of months. I love all of these, and this fabric is going to become one of those. I don't know which one yet. And some of these I'm going to be able to use some of the solid fabrics as trims for either the sleeves or the kind of the waistbands and the things like that. So I'm going to be mixing and matching. This is awesome, and it's going to make a really pretty dress, possibly a top. So this next one is called Shanghai, and it's a polyester satin, and again it's a Lady McElroy one. Now I initially was intending to do a sew over Eve dress with the long bishop sleeves with this. I have 3 meters of it, but I just hate wearing polyester. I really do. Close to my skin. Anyway, I was thinking, what do I do with this? And I have decided to use this as lining for my coat. Now the coat fabric is at the bottom, so I'm going to put this one to the side so I can show it to you with the coat fabric at the same time. But I've ordered 2 more meters of this, so I have 5 meters in total, so it should give you an idea of the size of the coat that I'll be making. But yeah, that is going to be coat lining, which I don't mind, and I think it's going to be really awesome because the coat itself is going to be plain, which means that there is some interest on the inside of it, and it won't matter if I clash prints with the lining of it because it's the lining, so it's not going to be like something that's really in your face, which is something that I've been realizing that I need to think about with some of the coats that I want to make. Okay, so next up we have Woodland Harmony, which is a viscose from Lady McElroy via Sherwood's. This one was a present from the lovely Nancy, not last Christmas but the Christmas before. I am going to be using this for the Vogue 9077. I'm hoping I'm going to have some left that I can make a shirt with as well afterwards. This is going to be the sew along for this month. Now I am actually just making the 9077 at the moment out of a plain rust coloured fabric that is part of my make 9 because I want to 100% make sure that I've got all the tweaks that I wanted to make to that pattern perfected, and I think I have. So once I'm 100% sure on that, I will then cut this one out and film a sew along with you guys of this fabric, and I think it's going to be immense. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to have the long sleeves. Yeah, it's going to be really pretty. This next one is a crepe that I got from the very lovely Mary, and it was part of a pattern swap present, and it was totally above and beyond what she was meant to be spending. It's been in my stash ever since, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's this kind of khaki green, military green colour with the rust flowers. Then they've got some peachy accents in here as well. I was thinking with this one, I want to make the McCall's 7537, and I want to use a rust coloured, this kind of coloured bias binding for the trims. Now I know some of you guys are not a fan of how I use bias binding on that dress, but personally I love it, and I think it's going to look awesome with this fabric. I was also thinking about maybe doing the Butterick 6380, I think I have that number right with this one. So one of those two dresses, and it's going to be beautiful. Now we're moving into the navy side of things. So we've got this is the Naturella bouquet, that's it. So it's a navy background with the kind of rust tan coloured flowers all over it. It's a viscose, it's a Lady McElroy, and I have 5 meters of it. So again, it's going to end up being one of those Vogue dresses that I showed you earlier. I'm not sure which one as yet, and I'm hoping that again I will have enough left to hopefully make a shirt and possibly even a two-toned 6380 with this and the navy viscose that I showed you earlier, because I think that would look really, really cool as well. Again, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to be doing with this one, but I think it's going to look awesome. So this one I wasn't 100% sure if I should include in the collection, because it's bringing in some of like the purples in here, as you can see, but it is a navy background with rust coloured flowers and leaves all over it. This is a tensile rayon from Darn Cheap Fabrics in Australia, and I actually have this in this navy colourway and then also in a cream colourway, which you're going to see in a second. This is a directional print because I had bought this initially to make the Sew Over Eve dress, but I cut mine out on the cross grain because I've lengthened the skirt and it wasn't going to work. I'm thinking that I may try a slightly shorter skirt, but not the high-low hem for the Eve dress, and do this with the long bishop sleeves wrap for an Eve dress, but as I say, with a straight hem rather than the high-low hem, which I know Dad's going to be really happy about. He hates the high-low hem. I don't know why, but he's taken against it. I have 5 meters of this, so again I'm hoping there's going to be enough for a top or the top of a dress or a camisole or something like that as well. But I love this print so much. I bought it in both colorways that it was available, but yeah, stunning. Then I have this beautiful crepe which has got kind of fruits and flowers all over it. I have 3 meters of this. I bought this and Mum loved it so much that she wanted some for herself, so I went back to buy her more so she could make a dress, and they'd sold out of it, so all I could get Mum was 1.5 meters. So she's made a Millilo shirt out of it because I actually refused to give up any of this so that Mum could have more to make a dress, because I love it so much. I am planning on again probably making something like the 7537 or possibly one of those Vogue dresses if I can get it out of 3 meters. Maybe a shirt dress. I'm not 100% sure as yet what this will get turned into, but I am very excited to actually use it because I think it is beautiful. There's that one. Now we have the final print that I have to show you today. Can you believe it? Yes, the final one. And it is the tensile rayon from Darn Cheap Fabrics in the cream colourway. So again, this has got kind of the purples in there, which I wasn't 100% sure about adding into this collection, but I think it works because the other colours in there work really well with the plain colours that I'm using. And then, as I say, in the future, if I do then a purpley bright blue collection, this will then tie in well with that as well. So I have, again, 5 meters of this one. I'm definitely going to be making a shirt out of this. I'm kind of hoping I have enough to do some kind of dress as well, but it's definitely going to be a shirt from this one, which I think is going to be absolutely gorgeous and go with so many of the bottoms that I'm planning on doing. So that was my very final print, and I now have 2 brushed cotton twills from fabric.com to show you. One is in the pumpkin colourway and the other one is in khaki. So I'll show you this one first. This one I have 6 yards of, and I actually think I have 6.5 yards because I got the end of the bolt. This was my amazing, I ordered this Monday afternoon and it arrived from America on Wednesday morning. I don't know how that happened. I am shocked by how quickly this fabric arrived, and again with no custom charges as well, which was wonderful. I have 6.5 yards of this. I think maybe 6 3/4 yards of this, but this is what started everything. I was intending to use this fabric for the trench coat from the Sew Over It, let's get this right, Worked Weekend. I think it's the Kate, no, it's the Kate is the dress. I can't remember the name of the trench coat, but I was planning on using it for that. And then I looked at that trench coat pattern, as I mentioned at the beginning of this very long video, and I was just like, you know what, it's nice, but I have other patterns that I would rather use instead of this one. Whilst I still think I want to do the capsule collection, I think I might just not, I think I might sub in this Sorrel jacket that I've got from Sew Over It, or something else when I do that capsule collection, but I have a feeling I'm going to be doing that in the spring next year. This one, it arrived and I was just like, well, what do I do with this now? Now technically this also makes really good bottom weight, so I could make a pair of trousers out of this one, which is a very distinct possibility. I want to make a Deer and Doe loop-in jacket, and then I want to try and put my, not money, I mean some money, but not money, but my time where my mouth is. And if you guys have been watching my Get the Look for Less videos, you know that I am in love with this Sonia Rykel. I think I have that right. I think I have that right. I love this jacket. I saw it on Lydia Elise Millen and I was just like, oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. There is this pattern from Trend Patterns, which I think you could tweak to be a really good kind of approximation. And again, I don't want to necessarily 100 slavishly copy the original. I think it's Sonia Rykel. I think it is. I don't want to slavishly copy that. I don't want to try and pass it off as the designer item. I want it to be my interpretation of that suits me and looks good on me. And I was thinking this fabric would be quite a cool one to do that with. I have actually, since I bought this fabric, found a cotton sateen that is the same colour as the original, that has that sheen, that I have ordered, and I'm thinking that I might use it for that instead. I'm not sure, but if that is the case, then a loop-in jacket, pair of trousers and a vest, or a waistcoat, sorry, from this are very, very definitely high up on the list of things to make. For this one, I can line it with like any of those patterned fabrics that I've shown you, because I can always put a slippery lining into the sleeve of the loop-in jacket. I can always, it doesn't have to be super slippery lining for a lot of those things, although it might be nice for the waistcoat given I want to wear it over non-slippery fabric, so maybe, but we'll see. But yeah, I have plenty of this to play around with, and I'm really excited to kind of give some different things a go. And as I say, I want to put my money where my mouth is with the Get the Look for Less videos, because I've made 3 things from those videos. I've mentioned way over 30 different patterns and combinations in those videos, so it's not my money where my mouth is, it's my time where my mouth is, and I want to try and do that. That was the plan for the next Get the Look for Less video, is to be like, look what I've actually made. But then I realised that 10 items is an entire month of sewing, and some of them are way more involved, and then it was like, oh gosh. So I'm going to try and use some of these projects to film that video. I'm going to go back to making the videos as they are, and I have a load of suggestions from you guys, but yeah, I'm going to try and do a Get the Look for Less progress or update or actual makes video to show you that you know, it's not just me going, oh, you could do this and make it work, and it will either be a look, these worked, or my ideas were stupid and this is why. So yeah, that was the plan with these ones. But I mean, look how well this goes with this as well, like, yeah, totally. And then the final fabric I have to show you, I have had this, I think this was the first thing I ordered from fabric.com. It's exactly the same as that last one, brushed cotton twill in khaki, and back then I think I ordered 7 yards of it. I have made 2 bags and a purse out of this, and then the rest of it I have been hoarding because I have been obsessed with this picture on Pinterest. This is the back of a coat. It's not even the whole coat, but it's the back of the coat, and it's just like, I want to make that. I have tried to tweak a couple of trench coat patterns into that, and they've not worked out as well, and that was towards the beginning of my sewing journey this time around, so it's not really a surprise that that didn't work overly well. But I have decided that I'm going to use this fabric in combination with this as the lining. This is why I've held this back to show you. So this will be the lining for this one. I'm going to make the Gertie Charm Patterns princess coat, and I'm going to add some trench coat detailing to it. So that storm flap on the back of that picture, I'm going to need to draft that and add that in. I'm going to have a look at epaulets on the shoulders, although the picture doesn't have those. And I don't think it has the little details around the wrists as well, the little kind of tabs on the wrist that trench coats have. But the beauty of it is that I have the ability to make all those things, and if they work, great, and if they don't, I can leave them off and just make the coat with the storm flap and the button on the back. The other thing that I was planning with this fabric is actually beading it and jeweling it a la Burberry, and I have the jewels, which hopefully I can show you a picture of here, and I've had those for 8 years now. I bought them when I was in Saudi Arabia. I don't think those jewels are going to work on this particular coat with this collection. I've decided, and I already know which fabric it's going to be. I can get some stone coloured sand washed brushed twill from fabric.com, and I'm going to make something like the Deer & Doe Luzon trench coat. I hope I have that right. Not in this collection, but at some point in the future, and that's what I'm going to use those gems on, to make it like a Burberry jeweled coat. So I was slavishly stuck on the idea that the gems were bought for this fabric and that's what I had to make with it, and I have now decided that I can just use wooden buttons and it's going to look awesome and it's going to work with all of these things that I've just done, and I will have my coat of dreams. I'm really excited, really excited. I actually have plans for a second Gertie princess coat in a thicker coating wool. I'm not showing it to you today because I don't know when I'm going to get to that, although I am hoping to do it before it really gets cold this year. But it's on a roll and it's fabric down there, and it doesn't quite fit in with the theme of all the stuff that I've shown you today. So yeah, this is the last one. It's going to be the princess coat with a few tweaks, with this as the lining, and that's my autumn winter capsule collection. Do you think I have enough plans? Do you think I'm going to get all this done? I mean, I am giving myself the rest of September, some of October, November, December and January to make these things. So that's 4.5 months. Although, as I say, we're going to be without a sewing room for some of that time. So I do think this is a really big ask, but I also think that it is doable, and I'm really excited about this. I've been planning this for the last 2 months, and I was thinking about using August as the beginning of the sewing adventure. Then it was just so hot, and I wanted to make the things in August that I made in August, and I didn't want to be thinking about making coats and warmer things and layering pieces and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I put this off till September, and then obviously now we're halfway through September. It'll be fine. It will be fine. Things I haven't shown you, I have some plain coloured jerseys, so I'm going to be making t-shirts to go with this, the Pauline turtleneck t-shirts, some wanted tees, some cow neck tees. I have about 10 jerseys that are going to work in with this collection as well, which I think will help round it out nicely. Mum is currently knitting me a navy tartan cardigan. I have a lot of cardigans in my stash or in my wardrobe that are going to work in with this collection as well already. I'm hoping that Mum will have the time to knit me a military green, khaki green cardigan to go in with that as well. She has knit me one of those, the Harton one as well, but it was in a bamboo wool, and I've ended up giving it to Big Bird because she loves it, but it's not as the acrylic wools are, and I find the acrylic ones much easier to care for as well. So Mum loves knitting the Harton cardigan, which is a wonderful thing because I would like another couple of those at least. I'm trying to work up to asking for one in black, but I think she might kill me. I hope this has been worth the wait. I've been, as I say, banging on about this for like the last 2.5 months, I think. So I hope this has been worth the wait. I hope you guys are excited about this. What are you looking forward to seeing made up? Let me know in the comments down below. I am going to try and be diligent about making a rounded capsule rather than just all of the dresses and a couple of coats with some skirts and then nothing and trousers and then nothing to go with them on top. I've specifically bought fabric with the plans of making it into tops, and I want to stick to that, so wish me luck for that because I think I'm going to need it, and I'm also going to need you guys to hold me accountable going forward. One of the other things that I'm excited about for this is because it's so many fabrics and so many broad plans, I have been not struggling, but I've been finding that when I have been doing my previous fabric hauls and sewing plan videos, that I'm kind of feel like I'm limiting myself, and if something new and exciting turns up, I feel like I have to get these other things finished first to be allowed to make the new thing. And because I have got such giant plans and so many different things to work on, I feel like it's going to be a pick and choose kind of like, oh, I want to do shirts today, or oh, I really want to make that jumper, or jumper. But I mean, I have got some sweatshirtings that I'm hoping to put into this as well. But yeah, you do know what I mean. I've got such a wide selection to pick from that I don't feel that it's going to be limiting in any way. At least that's my hope, because now that I've said this all to you, I'll be like, yeah, I want to work with blues and purples. Hopefully that won't be the case. I am really looking forward to getting these things sewn up. I think I want to work on some of the coats first, because I am so excited about it. I mean, I'm sitting here in currently 27 degrees of heat with all the windows open, with a lovely breeze and the sun streaming in, and yeah, it's a warm up here, but I want to make coats. So I think that's probably going to be the first thing that I work on, is the green Gertie coat, because I'm just so excited about this one. That's going to be the next 5 months. I hope you guys are excited about those colours, because you will be seeing a lot of them. Let me know in the comments down below which one you're looking forward to seeing the most. I'll be really interested to hear what you guys think about this, and to see which one is going to be the favourite, because I think there's quite a lot to choose from in there. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!